Hundreds of people are gathered here today in protest of the detention centers holding migrant families and are marching towards the San Ysidro port of entry. This event is happening nationwide in most major cities. When the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar lost his empire, he left behind a family zoo in Colombia full of exotic animals. Most of them were safely relocated, except for the hippos. Last year, when 6 out of 15 fraternities were under investigation regarding numerous issues, the Interfraternity Council set a self-imposed social moratorium. This year is no different, with fraternities under investigation regarding similar issues. So why is there no social moratorium now? LAPD says the man who's initially hailed a hero was actually the looter. That same man recorded and posted a Facebook video of himself ransacking the room of the family he rescued. After months of construction, the controversy around the Professional Studies and Fine Arts building closure is expected to increase by $10 million. These trailers are where classes are going to be held for the remainder of the construction. This weekend, San Diego police arrested several suspects in connection with an armed robbery off Montezuma Road. This was after a 6-hour SWAT team standoff in City Heights where they arrested 7 suspects. A white nationalist hate group posted stickers and flyers here at the Women's Resource Center, Pride Center, and around campus. Over 100 students, staff, and faculty gathered to show their support at the silent vigil held by the Jewish Studies program. Campus Village is a newly renovated apartment complex conveniently located near campus and many shopping centers. We're here at Plant Power taste testing the difference between plant power and the habit. Hello Aztecs, Emil Yunus here, and welcome to another episode of our Instagram TV series filled with all the top stories to keep you informed every week without skipping a beat.
I'm talking about breeding, celebration of diversity of all of us, and to truly love each other.
Hundreds of people are gathered here today in protest of the detention centers holding migrant families and are marching towards the San Ysidro port of entry. This event is happening nationwide in most major cities. Protesters in nearly 700 cities across the nation came together with demands such as closing detained migrant camps, abolishing ICE, and shedding light on reported injustices.
Abolish ICE because we feel ICE is just coming into our communities and terrorizing everybody. They are not going after quote-unquote criminals as they like to claim. They're actually going after our fathers, our mothers, our sisters.
The shutdown of the camps comes with increasing reports of health violations and medical neglect within the facilities, most notably the separation of children and their families.
I can't sleep thinking about those babies on concrete with aluminum blankets. You know, this is the Trump Hotel for children. Here it is. The cruel irony.
The cries for help have even reached the San Diego State community.
The trauma that these kids and their families are going through and are going to continue to go through, it's going to affect them for generations to come.
This protest is very time sensitive because come Sunday, July 14th, the Trump administration has announced that they will be conducting ICE raids to detain undocumented immigrants. And for the Daily Aztec, I'm Emil Yunus. When the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar lost his empire, he left behind a family zoo in Colombia full of exotic animals. Most of them were safely relocated, except for the hippos. Today, Escobar's 4 hippos have multiplied to more than 80 living in the wild in central Colombia. UC San Diego biologist Jonathan Shuren has been studying them for the past several years.
I learned about this story about the hippos. There was no one doing any research on it, so I said this is too good to pass up.
Shuren's team is looking to see what impact these large mammals are having on the environment, especially water quality. Hippos deposit their waste in lakes, and researchers found that lakes with high levels of organic waste cause algae blooms and may lead to fish die-offs. It's been thousands of years since such large mammals have freely roamed South America, so scientists like Shuren have a chance to study the effect on the environment up close.
They're not confined in any way, and they showed me places where they sort of walk through barbed wire fence, where they have fences for cattle that keep the cows in, but the hippos just kind of walk through the barbed wire.
The Colombian hippos are the only wild population outside of Africa. They are also a tourist attraction.
There is one main group of them that's in one lake that has a little restaurant next to it, and people go, that's where if you go see them, that's where you see them.
Shuren says the local government in Colombia is unsure what to do next about how to control the hippos.
So there's sort of 3 choices, right? There's do nothing, which is what's currently being done, and allow them to continue to grow. there's catch them and either relocate them or sterilize them. So if you could, in theory, if you caught all the males and sterilized them all, then the population would sort of live out their lives, but they wouldn't make any new ones. Or you go and shoot them all, which would be easy, but not palatable for most. Most people would be bothered. That would be publicly unpopular.
So what's the prediction for how large the hippo population will grow? Shern estimates it could reach thousands in the next few decades. Amal Yunus, KPBS News. A husband and wife, separated in a canyon in Malibu, reunited. Mudslides caused hundreds of homes to be evacuated near Mount Craig Salvation Army camp in Calabasas. One of those homes
I didn't know if I was going to make it or not.
was John Savage's.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything you did.
It's my pleasure. It's my honor. I'm just glad you're doing okay, sir.
The man you see here wasn't as harmless as it first seemed. LAPD gave us this security video, which told a very different story.
What did you do? Why'd you do it?
You don't even need to be. Hey, we don't.
LAPD says the man who's initially hailed a hero was actually the looter. That same man recorded and posted a Facebook video of himself ransacking the room of the family he rescued.
Oh, score. Let me see. Happy holidays to us. Let's go.
You robbed my house!
John Savage found out his new neighbor wasn't such a nice guy after all.
I'm gonna kill you if I ever get a hold of you, man.
Hey,
back up!
Two other people seen with the bearded bad guy in that security footage, as well as the Facebook video, a man and a woman, were also arrested.
Let's go.
In Calabasas, Amal Yunus, Malibu News 12.
Let me get him.
Last year, when 6 out of 15 fraternities were under investigation regarding numerous issues, the Interfraternity Council set a self-imposed social moratorium. This year is no different with fraternities under investigation regarding similar issues. So why is there no social moratorium now? The social moratorium, also known as a party ban, prevented all Greek houses from participating in events with alcohol. This was a sweeping ban for all Greek houses, regardless if they were under investigation or not.
One of the things that's important to recognize around the social moratorium, it was a student-driven decision. And so while we're able to look at individual investigations that may be occurring or the organizations, it is something that typically is something that would be a broader conversation with the students first.
In order for the social moratorium to end last year, members from all fraternities had to attend workshops about hazing, drug abuse, and toxic masculinity. The IFC president this year, Stephen Plant, said he is taking a more individualistic approach to each investigation.
At this point, I don't believe that a social moratorium is going to fix all our issues. There's a common misconception that people think that a social moratorium would somehow fix everything that's been happening. But what I believe that we truly need is to educate our new members.
With no social moratorium, many of the investigative fraternities are in interim suspension, with a variety of social restrictions depending on the charges each house is facing. Randy Tim, Dean of Students, says these investigations are anywhere from hazing to alcohol violations and what he called inclusive issues.
So sometimes people choose to have party themes that may be offensive to other people, that may disparage another group of people or place them in a bad light. And that is, it may be an opportunity to have free speech, but you also have the freedom of getting the criticism for choosing that theme.
Plant said while the university is handling the investigations, the IFC is putting their focus on revamping their new member orientation. Currently, there has been no rulings on any of the ongoing investigations. And for the Daily Aztec, I'm Amal Yunus.